We were impacted immediately from the Camp Fire. I was on duty that morning. One of the surveyors came in and said, "Oh my gosh, Cindy, go look outside." And we could see the flames coming up and the black smoke coming up. And so we started making calls immediately. I'll call the skilled nursing facilities. You call the ICFs, and you call the hospital up there. Do you have a plan? There's a fire, there's a smoke.
My wife is the one that called 911 for her facility, and 911 said, "You're on your own, just get out." They had nothing to offer them. And, just because it was such a wide scope.
One of the SNFs called and said that they couldn't evacuate. Traffic was going in the wrong direction. They couldn't get emergency vehicles up to the facility. They were just going to shelter in place. Cindy immediately got in touch with the county coordinator. There was a administrator that we work with that owns a transport company. She was able to coordinate with the county to get that medical transport and CHP to escort them up to that facility and to get those residents. It's hard. It's hard still. I'm sorry, Dale. It's hard still to talk about it.
The facilities lost, they all burn up. All 3 skilled nursing facilities burn up. The hospital burn up. One independent living facility completely burned up.
We're not the firefighters. We're not the first responders. We're not out there putting our lives on the line. But Cindy's actions saved 100 residents.
The next day, we had to go check on all the people that had been evacuated and make sure that the patients were safe. And I went to a skilled nursing facility and I was talking to patients, and one of the things they said, this was the most harrowing experience they ever had, that they thought that they were going to die because they were being transported down the hill with flames on both sides of them, pulled out of their bed, put in a vehicle, taken down to another facility. They don't know anybody. It was a very stressful situation for everybody involved. We all have family members up there, and we had staff members in here that were saying, "I need to go home. My family's up there. I need to go home." And so some of our staff left and immediately went home and tried to get there. Some of our staff didn't get there, and they've lost their homes and their pets.
We lived right in the middle of town. The whole town would have to burn down before our house burned down, and I was right. Our house did burn down, but so did the whole town. I've always thought losing all your belongings would be devastating, and I don't really think about the stuff that I've lost. What I really miss the most is the community. Our friends and family have all had to move away to find housing.
We were more fortunate than some. Our home actually happened to be photographed and was in the news media, both national and international news. One of our sons who live in Denver, Colorado, contacted the photographer and asked him if our house was on fire when he took the pictures, because the pictures showed fire all around. And he said no. So the news photographer actually went back the next day and took a picture of our house standing. We had a lot of damage to our property, some damage to the home as well, because the fire actually burned right up to the house. I still don't know how our house didn't burn, but it didn't.
Right after the fire, I came back to work. You're still kind of in a state of shock. You don't really know what you're going through. And my supervisor said, "No, you should take some time off." And over the next 30 days, I was glad I did. There was a lot that I had to deal with insurance and finding a place to live and getting the kids enrolled in a new school. And, it's just really a lot.
It was amazing to me, the support that those of us that were affected by this horrible tragedy that we received, not only from the local office, but from our whole CDPH family throughout the entire state. Calling and talking, giving us time off to be able to deal with our personal situations, and then also financial, in the form of money, gift cards, that sort of thing. It was amazing to me.
10 of our staff lost homes and were affected by the fire. We still, unfortunately, have people out as a result of being affected by the fire. We pulled together as a team, as a family, to support the staff that were affected. We got them, got on the phone, followed the procedures to get them the emergency leave that they needed to take care of their business. We held a silent auction to raise money to donate to them. And so not only professionally, but just personally here in the office, I'm proud of how we responded to one another. So to say am I proud of this office, I'm very proud, both professionally and personally, of how we responded to it.
No patients were lost, yes. Yes, we all played a role in that.
If we hadn't performed our job from the minute that we saw the smoke in the sky, and it got dark very quick, if we hadn't performed like we were trained to do our job and stay in contact with the facilities, stay in contact with the coordination from Sacramento, there would have been lives lost in those sniffs in the hospital. I absolutely believe that if we hadn't acted the way we did, it would have been a lot more tragic. There would have been a lot more lives lost.
People think they're planning for emergencies that'll never happen, but as we see, they do happen.